They gather to search for bodies, to sift through their belongings and what's left of their homes. Villagers here in the countryside of Deir say airstrikes on Saturday killed relatives and friends, just ordinary citizens. This man could only muster a prayer, calling on God to help his people. Rights groups say Russian jets are responsible for the strikes and that this isn't the first time. Dozens of civilians are reported to have died in days of bombing over Deir ez-Zor. Russia launched its military operation in Syria last September at the request of Syria's President Bashar al-Assad. Since then, Russian planes have flown an estimated 5,700 missions. Rights groups say more than 1,000 civilians have lost their lives in that time. Moscow continues to insist that its campaign is directed at ISIL and other armed groups. It's also rejected claims that aircraft have hit civilians, saying instead that it uses planes to drop humanitarian aid to those living in besieged areas.
I think that today there's not a single army in the world that would talk about its military operation so thoroughly, with facts and numbers, as the Russians have in Syria. I'd like to stress it's an operation against international terrorism in this region.
ISIL controls most of Deir ez-Zor province. It's kept the remaining pockets of government-held areas there under siege for the past year. This week, it's been on a push to capture those areas. The Russians say their intensified aerial bombardments are to counter that push by ISIL fighters. But the people here say it's all been at their expense. Gerald Tan, Al Jazeera.